We are here at the Dallas International Film Festival with Ann Buford, the director of Elevate. It's great to see you here. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. It's exciting to be in Dallas, especially for a film like Elevate that has such Dallas roots. The inspiration of our film worked for many years for the Dallas Mavericks. So we shot at the stadium a couple times, or the arena is more likely. So we're happy to be here.
So you just had your world premiere at South by Southwest in Austin. So how did that go? How was the audience response to the film?
It was good. It was good. We had nobody walked out, so we were always happy about that. Because I said to my editor, "What do we do if somebody walks out?" He's like, "You just act like they're going to meet friends." I said, "Okay," but no, it was very exciting to be there, and we had a good experience, and we were very well received, and some of the boys were there, so that was exciting, and they did Q&A after the film, and there'll be someone tonight, like one of the boys from Seeds Academy will be there tonight, and hopefully tomorrow night as well. So we had a great experience, and it's great to be back in Texas.
Well, we're glad to have you. I know your brother works in the sports industry. Is that what kind of sparked this idea?
I have grown up, because of my brother playing sports, I've grown up around a lot of sports people, and so I was always fascinated by the community that sports brings together. How people of all different backgrounds can come together and get enthralled with each other talking about a ball, a game, anything. So I had an idea that I wanted to do something on a sports person, because that's what adds drama to the game. It's the people. It's not so much the game, but so yes, I was bugging him for a while to give me, I was proposing ideas to him that he would sometimes say, "That will ruin my life," and I was like, "Well, that's what little sisters do." But so at a certain point, he said to me, "I have someone I want you to meet," and given that my brother works for the Spurs and Amadou works for the Mavericks, I figured he must be pretty special, because there's a rivalry. Like we can say, "Oh, everyone gets along," and they all do, but everybody wants to win. And actually, Amadou and I were in Senegal together in 2007 during the Western Conference Final, where there'd be some mornings we couldn't speak because I didn't know who won, and he would know, and it came down in the 7th game, and the Spurs ended up losing. But no, it was 2006, maybe 2005. Wait. It was the year the Miami won. The Dallas went to the finals, and sorry, I'm rambling. But so it's tense when you travel with a competitor, but a friendly competitor. So,
can you tell me a little bit more about the academy and the program that Amadou has started in Senegal?
Where do you want me to look? It's hard. Okay, just keep looking. Okay, perfect. Because I didn't know if you want me to look over there. Okay. Directors, we're very controlling. We're like, "What's the shot?" We're always thinking what the shot is. Sorry. What's the academy like? Well, the academy is at an old French military installation, and so it's set up in like what we all think of a military installation, kind of a U. You drive in to the right, you drive out on the left. Most of the Seeds is located on one side, where it's the basketball arena, and then it's not really an arena, it's a court. It's like an old hangar that airplanes used to be in, that had a very makeshift court to begin with that was held together by tape, and they have someone donated a new court recently, so they have that court, and then the school classrooms are next to it, and the dining hall, and the boys' dormitories, and they all live together, 25 guys, a couple guys there to look after them. Teachers come in, and they all eat together every day. Everybody has the same place at a very long table in the cafeteria that they sit at every day. And you come in, and you could be 2 boys together, but if each of your places on the opposite ends, that's where you sit and you talk across a big long table. It's very regimented for Senegal, but also very has a lot of character, because it's a school of young boys. And they pray every day. They're Muslim, and they pray first thing in the morning. They pray before they eat. They pray 5 times a day, and they all pray together. And we show that in the film, because it wasn't something unusual. We have lots of footage of them all praying together. So it's a very interesting place. They realize that they're at some place special. They may not, because of their youth, they may not understand how special it is, but they are saddled with the idea that they have a responsibility at a very young age to use this opportunity to help their families, help their communities, help their country, but first of all, help themselves so they can be strong enough to have people depend on them in the way that people need to be people need to depend on them.
How did they react to having you there at the Academy and having the film crew as kind of part of their lives for a while?
Well, it's fun. You know, when you first start, you know, they ruled the area. They knew it was their school. They knew what was going on. It was something unusual for them. They're sophisticated because they have the internet and they know music, and we were an American crew. And we were pretty much all the same crew, but people would come in and out, but I was always there, our sound guy was always there, and our co-producer was always there. And, you know, it was fun. What wasn't fun is when they came to America and they started struggling. And when things are hard, you don't want a camera crew around, especially when you're 7 feet tall. When, you know, the sound guy's boom is another 8 feet above your head, you're not sneaking around. You know, you come with a big crew. And so if you're not doing very well and you're being followed around by a crew, it makes it a lot rougher. And leaving your family at a young age and coming to America, the food's different, culture's different, you know, everything is different, and people put a lot of pressure on you because they think, well, you're lucky to be here. And yeah, they're lucky to be here, but it's also really hard, and they don't always feel so lucky, and sometimes it's harder than they could have ever imagined. And they've got coaches yelling at them, and what makes them beautiful basketball players is how beautifully they move and use their feet, but they've never caught balls and things like that. So, you know, the more somebody screams at them, the more tense they get, so then they can't catch the ball, and then the more the coach screams at them to catch the ball. So it's a tough environment that they, and sometimes people get great coaches, and sometimes you get the coach that means well but doesn't know exactly what it is to really have to help one of these guys.
Now, I wanted to ask you a little bit about you personally. You know, this was your first film, and you came from more of a fashion background and a politics background. So what inspired you to kind of make this big switch?
Well, when I worked at Vogue, I worked at NBC Sports on the weekends, and I've always loved sports and always been around it, as I said, with, you know, growing up as the younger sister to my brother. So I have older nieces and nephews, so I was always very comfortable being around teenagers. And, you know, I think producing is producing. When you're in a job, you produce, and that's easy. I think creatively is what was the hardest part for me. Also, working with the boys and not wanting to ever exploit them, or you know, always making sure that I felt like I had their best interests at heart. And, you know, there were times when they hated me because they didn't want the camera around, and I hated me too because I didn't want to be around. But we were kind of all in this together to do it for Seeds, and that's what the boys talked, that they were doing it so people would see what was going on, and that people would then support Seeds, because it is something in Africa that is creating opportunities, and they don't want pity. They just want opportunity. And in America, we look at Africa and we think the worst of a continent. We lump them into the wars, the problems, you know, the poverty. People don't want to work hard, and it's not fair. And so I think changing perceptions of what Africans are like, what Muslims are like, you know, that means a lot to them.
Well, we really appreciate you being here and bringing your film and your message to Dallas, and good luck to you while you're here. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's fun to be here. So everyone come see Elevate. Perfect. Thank you.